Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your interview co-host, Jimmy, and I'm here, as always, with...
your boy, TB.
Yeah, and...
Tony B.
Dazzling Dave, I guess. Should I say my name more
It's
than
fine.
once? Like
it's fine.
Dave.
I love it. This is another episode of our interviews series where all three of us got the privilege to talk to Kaniehtiio Horn, who's the writer, director, and lead of the upcoming movie Seeds, her directorial debut.
Yes, it premiered at TIFF, and it is in theaters, at least Canadian theaters, this Friday or today, I'm assuming when this goes live, October 25th, and it is most certainly worth your time.
Yes.
We all really enjoyed it, James. It's a
wild ride from start to finish. There is I don't know. It's equal parts funny and graphic and violent and upsetting, and I don't know. It's got equal measures of a lot of things going on. There's a lot of juggle. She's juggling a lot of things in the air, and she lands it, I think.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Definitely, I definitely think she does too. You'll definitely be on the edge. You'll be laughing. You'll be cringing. You'll be wanting justice for sure.
Yes, we are starting it's not spoiling anything, and you'll figure it out as you go along, but we are starting a #justice for potato hashtag as it is needed and necessary. For now, though, we got the chance to sit down and talk to Miss Horn and go through a few questions, pressing questions that had come up while we were watching the film and we were talking about it together. So I think just sit back and enjoy.
Enjoy, guys.
Cool, great. Hi, Kaniehtiio. First of all, congratulations on the film, especially for your directorial debut. It was an excellent watch. I know all three of us really enjoyed getting to see it. So first of all, congratulations on it. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
What was it about Seeds that made you want to tell this a story as your directorial debut? Was there any like autobiographical elements to it?
No. I just wanted to make a vehicle for myself as an actress. I mean, I watched a lot of my friends. The person who comes to mind is Vanessa Matsui, who did Ghost BFF. Kind of make, they started as actors and were tired of waiting around for, the opportunity to kind of showcase their abilities and to be asked to direct something and this and that. So I was like, maybe I should do that. Maybe it's time I have to make something for myself. So I kind of I was inspired really, truly by Home Alone. Like the classic Home Alone, like McAllister.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to make what the bad guy was trying to get. I didn't want to make it something cliche like money.
Sure.
And I didn't want to make it something like to violate me, like that's why he wants to get in there. And so I thought the most precious thing to my people in particular, to Indigenous people, is their connection to the land. But my people in particular is the corn, beans, and squash seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it started. And then it was kind of like, all right, where do we go from here? And there were certain elements to it that I wanted to keep. Like, I knew I wanted to get to the end there but it was all like in the middle stuff. Like how do I fill this up? Like, it was my first time writing something. So I went through a lot of learning through this whole project. The writing, like I've written a short film before, but I've never written a feature. So that was, I think, the most difficult part for me, actually, and the biggest learning curve, I think. But yeah, I was inspired by Home Alone, and then I knew I wanted to do a comedy, so Shaun of the Dead is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Nice. Yes. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
And so I just love how visceral the violence is, like how real and how you feel it. And, like when that cricket bat like would hit their heads, like you cringe, And so I really wanted that, but I also kind of wanted it to, I love the groundedness and like the performances are excellent in that movie. And so I wanted it to be, I wanted good, talented actors to help carry this film with me. And yeah, those were my inspirations. And also Clear Cut, which is like a Canadian classic that I don't know many people know about, but sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I know Clear Cut. But yeah, that's like the classic Graham Greene film. Where you got to actually cheer on an Indigenous person,
Hmm. Well, you definitely accomplished that. Whatever I can definitely see the influences of Home Alone definitely towards the end. I was wondering, did you receive any pushback regarding the violence? Because like there are some pretty graphic moments in the film.
No. I don't
No,
think
it was
so.
just go for broke.
Yeah, I was like, well, what are we doing here? Like, I wanted more.
More. Oh yeah,
We couldn't afford it, Like, I wanted more booby traps. I wanted booby traps, really. I wanted her to rig the whole.
Crazy.
Yeah, but you know how much that was? Not anything we could afford. So I just kind of had to settle with like, okay, she beats them up and then she ties them up and then tortures them. But like, I really wanted there to be like, I wanted him to be destroyed. Like, I wanted there to be, yeah, like the two bad guys. What are they? Harry and
Marv.
Yeah, Marv.
Yeah.
I wanted that there to be like, them going through the house and like getting hit by a paint can, but like really what would happen if you got hit by a paint can? You wouldn't just be like, ooh, like at the bottom of the stairs, like your face would be fucking smashed in. So I really wanted to do that, but yeah, we couldn't afford it.
Oh, that's too bad. I was really towards the end. I was really hoping for like that guy to get what he deserves, right? Like you carving out his heart and like ripping it out. Like I was hoping for that. But now that that's understandable, there's a budget issue. You couldn't get you ripping his heart out.
But I think when you have a budget, when you don't have a lot of money, it forces you to get more creative. And arguably, there are some instances in there that are actually more impactful when you don't see it and you're actually just watching the reaction of like Nookie tied to the other post or something,
Yeah, definitely. So, you've already said, but budget was a little bit of an issue. Was there any other challenges that you faced being a first time director and writer, and versus like what were the challenges that you faced being a director and writer, and how did they compare to the challenges that you faced being the main actress of the film? Because you definitely have a lot of hats you're wearing for this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that being a director and writer at the like being both of those things was very difficult, or being an actor and writer was very difficult, because as the actress, I kind of like, I've been working on the script for however many years. Like, if anybody knows the script the best, it's me. So it kind of eliminates being the director. It kind of eliminates a conversation that would normally happen between the lead and the director, because I am that one person. So a lot of conversations or questions or just answered in my own head, I think the most difficult thing for me was the writing, and surprisingly, the directing was actually probably maybe one of the easiest parts for me. I had a lot of support with the people around me. Like the director of photography, Johnny. I've known him for years and years, and I kind of just put a lot of my trust into him, and he allowed me to ask stupid questions, and he was a great teacher, and he was a great um just yeah, like a great collaborator. And it was very important for me to to maintain like a very good vibe on set. And from what I've heard from everybody is everybody had a, great time. Like I knew it was going to be a lot of hard work, because I'm not an idiot. It's not my first time, being on a film. It's a hard work making a film. But I really wanted to kind of put my money where my mouth is, and if I'm like, oh yeah, I could do, because like I've worked with so many people, so many great directors and so many terrible ones. And when when you're sitting there and you're like, I could fucking do this better. Like, can you? So I was finally in that position and I was like, all right, this is going to be hard work, but I do want everybody to have fun still. So let's not forget that. And yeah, so I think as an actor, that was, I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years. So that was kind of like one of the easier parts. And I would just kind of, if I was doubting a performance in a take, I would just ask. I never really watched playback ever, but I would just ask Johnny or whoever was watching the monitor if they got a certain vibe that I wanted. And, if they didn't, then we would do another take. And also in the editing process, that was one of my favorite parts because it's like you get another chance, another stab at making your film. And I had an incredible editor who we just like really, she just got me, So
Yeah.
yeah.
It definitely sounds like you had like a nice trust built between your editor and your DOP, and you see that in the film. You see the labor. It sounds like the film was a labor of love, and you see that through the screen. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to kind of talk about was a little bit about the casting, but before I got there, I wanted to just first say that like I'm a super huge fan of yours and have been a big fan since mostly through your television work through Letterkenny and Shoresy, but then more so recently through Reservation Dogs, which I'm criminally underrated, but especially the episode that you did in season 3, the Dear Lady episode fully. Was incredible and is still haunting me to this day. But on the heels of that, and especially just because noticing sort of who you had cast in Seeds versus who was in Reservation Dogs as well, did you write any of the roles specifically for both Dallas Goldtooth and Graham Greene, or did they become involved afterwards, or what was that process like?
Well, no, I didn't write the role for Dallas. I wrote it for somebody funny. And I was kind of writing it for Meegwin a little bit, but then the indigenous pool of actors who can do comedy at a high level is pretty, and in my age group as well, is like there's not that many of us, right? So there was a few people that I was considering for it and that I had sent to, and I just know Dallas, and he's kind of like a brother. We kind of have that brother relationship, brother sister relationship. And so when it came down to me finally, really coming down to casting, I sent it to him and I was like, listen, would you be my cousin in this? And he, was super into it. I mean, he told me that he was a fan of mine before we even met, really. And I was always a fan of his. I loved his stuff. I loved the 1491s. I've known them for years, maybe over 10 years. And then for Graham Greene, I mean, I didn't make up the show Exhibit A. It's a show that exists. So no, I wrote that for him. He's always been in part of it. And I basically told him, I wrote this role for you, please be in it. Because Exhibit A is part of the plot line. So, or not the plot line, but it's part of the film. It's part of her character, right? Falling asleep to that stuff. So yeah, I kind of just was I've known Graham for many years as well. And I just sort of told him and he's like, yeah, anything you want, niece. So I was like, all right, you're going to be in my movie. We had it for one day.
Very, very nice. We're wondering what's next for you. Are you going to continue to write and direct and star, or is this kind of like a one and done?
No, I want to keep doing it. I mean, I definitely won't write myself into every fucking scene for the next thing. I learned my lesson there, but I just applied for funding for a proof of concept short about something that my mother did in the 60s. So very, very kind of not in the genre world, but still comedy, and still there'll be some stomach turning moments in it. but I mean, it's based on a true story. And then there's another film that my next feature, I really want to do something that will be pretty violent, because it's going to take place on my reserve at a certain time that was very, very violent here. And so, yeah. And with that one, I think it would be more of an ensemble, but to again give myself a fucking break during shooting as well. I would like to try directing without being in anything, like direct somebody else's stuff, you know? So I think it's definitely opened the doors and opened my mind to kind of doing more stuff like this. And not and saving my acting for things that I truly love and believe in, and that will pay me what I'm worth.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is really fucking hard right now. The industry is so crazy, but whatever.
That's understandable.
But I'm definitely like, it's definitely lit something under me. And it's nice it's empowering to make your own things too, because in my downtime, I don't feel desperate because I have something that's always kind of cooking anyways, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Do you think the making a movie like Seeds will open the door and open up more opportunities for Indigenous talents to emerge?
Um, I mean, I hope. I mean, I hope it's allowing me to fucking open some doors for my own career. Um, because yeah, I mean, I had to, like, it's writing, directing, and starring in your own fucking thing is not normal.
No, it's definitely
Like,
not.
yeah, and I think the place where I recognize that the most, that people don't understand it, is my own family. Like, they're kind of like, yeah, like I come from like a fairly, you could say, successful group of women, and like my sister went to the Olympics, another one's a doctor, and the other one's like a professor or whatever. And I'm like, you guys, and I'm the youngest, so it's like, you know, I'm always trying to prove myself to my older sisters, and I'm like, you guys, it's not fucking normal to do this. Like, can I get a little bit more props here? It's crazy what I did. And now I'm promoting it at like 8.5 months pregnant. So
Oh
kind of like,
man.
you know, give me some props here. But yeah, no, I mean, I hope it opens. I mean, if anything, I want more Indigenous women to kind of like take over this space, because I think as much as it's like an Indigenous film, I guess you could say, Indigenous story, um, I think it's also like a female story, a feminine rage story, you know? Um, and I see these, like, there's this like meme with, it says, it's like, oh, my favorite genre of film is the good for her, you know, kind of movie, like Carrie.
Yeah.
Like there's all, and I was like, I think Seeds is
Yeah.
one of those, you know? So I'm kind of proud of that too.
Yeah. I mean, Seeds is totally one of those. I'm putting it in that category if no one else is.
So good.
And also just mad props for, you know, making this movie and then continuing to work and promote it, and, you know, being 8.5 months pregnant, which congratulations.
Thank you.
That's yeah, just big ups to you. That's amazing.
Thanks so much.
Sort of the last question, just to wrap it up, and only just because it's been, I think, impacting all three of us since we saw the film, and we need to know your opinion and thoughts on it. Are you okay and cool with us starting a justice for potato hashtag?
Oh my God, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, good, because that scene destroyed me.
I know, but the funny thing is like, if it was a woman who got smashed, or like just somebody, like nobody would care, but it's a cat. And like there was like this one person, there's this like one critic who was like, I don't know, I could have done without the cat dying. And I'm like, what if it was like an Indigenous man or a woman? Nobody would say anything, but it's a cat. But anyways, yeah, justice for potato. He gets justice.
He does, yes.
Get the
This is
guy
true.
back.
Yes.
Well, amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing it. We definitely Loved it, and we cannot wait for what you do next.
Thank you. Thanks. Nice chatting.
Nice chatting. Take care.
Thank you.